Hi there, Josh Dunham, co-founder, Reveal. My place in the business is more on the technology and then the operations side, and I also oversee the financials and finance side of the business.
My name's Chad Bevel, co-founder at Reveal, and I oversee the sales team and the client success team at Reveal.
So what we do is we help businesses increase their profitability by really providing transportation transparency in the industry. So when you think about the pricing models of FedEx and UPS, they're very vague and it's very hard to understand. And we demystify those, and ultimately we're revealing what's not known in the shipping industry, and we're on a mission to be able to do that. And we are very client focused, and everything we do, we focus on our client, what makes them and their business better, and that's really what we're passionate about.
So yeah, we actually came up with the idea for Reveal at a training in Dallas when we were selling for DHL. We were at a training there, and I believe the training was around educating the sales team on how to price deals when they were meeting with FedEx and UPS accounts. And ultimately what we realized is that there's no standardized pricing methods for how the carriers were instructed to educate their sales team on pricing accounts. And so you would have these larger accounts that had worse pricing programs in place than a much smaller account. And so that way of pricing just didn't sit well with Josh and I. And we didn't feel like it was that as a sales rep for the carriers, you had the best interest of your client at mind. And so we wanted to build a business around a business that would actually have the best interest of our clients as well as the company. So that's where Reveal was born at that hotel in Dallas in 2006.
I'd say the large need that we saw was, and really the problem that the industry has, is that there's no transparency, especially as it relates to some of the pricing. So what we saw was just, different businesses would have different discounts, and the only reason why some businesses would have better discounts than the others is because they negotiated better. And to a certain extent, it is on volume, but a large component of it is how you negotiate. And without any visibility into what other companies are paying, or and without transparency in the industry, it's almost like you're negotiating blindly, with the carriers. So we set out to really bring transparency into the industry.
Josh and I met, we were in the same sales training class in Orange County when we started selling for DHL. So we got to know each other pretty well, going to all the same trainings, working in the same office. We had a lot of similar backgrounds, and so we became good friends. And going into business is a big commitment. It's almost like a marriage, right? So you really want to make sure that whoever you go to business with, you trust, you like, and respect. And so that checked the box for me. And so we've had an amazing partnership over the last 14 years, and I feel truly blessed that it's gone as well.
I would also add to that, and echo everything, but I would also say naiveness. I think at the time, when we started the business, we were really young. And DHL was really both of our first jobs out of school, out of college. And I think knowing what we both know now about business partnerships and everything, all of the horror stories that you hear, it would be a lot more difficult, jumping into a partnership with someone so quickly, like we both did. So I think being young and being a little bit naive at the same time ended up being years down the road, a pretty good benefit for us. And it ended up being a really, really, neat relationship that we've been able to develop, and a great partnership as well. I'd say the biggest thing that we solve is we reveal the unknown. And I know that's kind of a little play off of our name, but that's by design. And that's really what we do, is we reveal things that they just don't know, whether it's in the industry or whether it's about their own shipping, their unique shipping profiles. Just something in their business that they can get better at. That's really, the biggest problem that we solve.
Yeah, one of the things that we constantly hear from our clients is that there's really a lack of transparency, not just around pricing, but visibility into their data. For example, if companies want to get some visibility into their shipping data, there are these raw data files that the carriers provide that don't even have sometimes headers on the files. So it's really hard for companies to really pull out what they want from the data to know how to make good business decisions from. And so with our reporting platform, that helps provide a lot of the visibility that the clients need to make smarter business decisions. I think going back to the very beginning, when we first started, we landed our first clients, and then we realized like, oh my gosh, how are we going to invoice these clients? So our model's always been around guaranteed results and billing off of the savings, but you need to build software to do that. And so luckily, through some friend connections, we were able to identify a software developer that was able to help create the invoicing software that generates our monthly savings reports. And that was always very important to us because one of our core values is transparency. And so we wanted to be incredibly transparent with how we invoiced for the savings that we help produce for our clients. And so we had to get that right. And so that was a pretty significant challenge in the beginning to build out, especially, after you sign your clients and, the months coming up, like, oh my gosh, we have to get our first invoice out and it has to be 100% accurate. So that was a pretty big challenge. Another big challenge that we faced was, I think it was probably around 2008 or 2009 when both FedEx and UPS announced that they were no longer going to allow third-party negotiators to work with their clients. So we were no longer able to interface directly with FedEx and UPS sales reps to negotiate on behalf of our clients. And I found out the hard way at the negotiation table with a client in San Diego, actually, when the FedEx rep walked in and said, hey, Chad, I have some bad news. FedEx is no longer allowing us to work directly with you. So if you're in the room, we're not allowed to be in the room. And so it's a very awkward position to be put in, right? Because the client's sitting there as well. So ultimately, I dismissed myself and got out and called Josh up and said, oh, we're in trouble possibly. But like any good business, you adapt and you pivot to the environment. We were able to come out with another approach that actually better suited our clients in the end, I believe, and has helped us thrive up to this point.
Yeah, I would just add on to that and just say that was a really scary time. Probably the most scared I think I've been in the history of the business is just really not knowing what the heck is going to happen. Are we going to have to switch business models? Are we going to be out of business? How is this going to affect us? And that lasted. I remember I had several sleepless nights in a row just worried about that. So that was one of those were some dark days.
Like with any company that grows fast, scaling, for me personally, is being able to successfully build out teams in different departments to help grow with the growth of the business. With that comes, a lot of challenges sometimes around people, but luckily for us, we've been able to attract some very talented and amazing people that have helped build out the different departments within our organization. And Josh and I have had great mentors along the way through different organizations we're involved in. And so that's helped with some of those challenges. But yeah, scaling at a fast pace has been a challenge for me.
Yeah, it's building the systems and the processes that has been where we've really had to excel and get better the larger we've gotten. When we first started it was just Chad and myself. We didn't really have a lot to worry about. And not a lot of moving parts. It's just him and I, and we're both kind of selling. And it wasn't until you start building teams and infrastructure and things like that you need to have systems and processes in line, as well as a growth strategy. Yeah, I would say for me, one of the things that I would say that I live by and kind of my own personal why is to be a blessing. And I'd say what makes me the most proud being a part of this business is just us being able to be a blessing to our people. And I think it's just amazing to see, our people, buy homes and start families and just, kind of create a really abundant life. So for me, that's probably the most proud I've been in this business.
Yeah, I would agree with Josh. Of course, there have been some revenue milestones that we set in the very beginning that we thought we would never achieve, that we did. So those were amazing times to celebrate and be proud of what we built. But like what Josh said, We've had a couple employees that have been able to celebrate their 10-year anniversary working at Reveal, which I'm extremely proud that that's occurred in our company. I feel like these days, a lot of people bounce around in companies and when they only stay at a company for like 1 to 3 years. So to have that longevity shows that people really do genuinely enjoy working here. And that, I think, keeps Josh and I motivated to keep going and continue to build.
Yeah, I'd say one other thing that makes me, really proud is and when you see customers come back, or when you see, whether it's a CFO or someone in operations go to another business and then bring us in. And I think the reason why I take such great pride in that is because what that means to me is that we've excelled and we've delivered in all facets of the business. So, at the front end, we've sold the deal, and then we've serviced the deal, properly. And then, that client has been happy, throughout the entire process, to then bring us into, subsequent businesses or even make referrals.
Yeah, I can think of a couple CFOs specifically down in San Diego that have bounced around from company to company over the last decade, and they've brought us into every company that they've worked with. So, that's, a testament to the service that Reveal offers, that they would keep bringing us in to each company to add value to that new company.
I'd say overall, what makes Reveal different is the vision that we have, and what we're trying to do in the industry. We have a great team, and we're really proud of the fact, and blessed by the team that we have. And I think really is taking that team and projecting our vision, of really trying to help businesses. That's what's at the core of what we're trying to do, is make businesses more profitable, empower them with shipping intelligence, and really just help them. So our vision, manifested through the decisions that we make, and I'd say that really is what makes us different, is the calling that we have to make this industry better, to make it more transparent. And yeah, it's just a calling. Well, there's been a ton of changes before, since we started the company. I would say one of the more recent changes, is the effect that COVID has had. What we see the carriers have done during just this COVID era, they've removed their service guarantees, and they've instituted just a multitude of price increases. And really what we're seeing that the carriers are realizing their dominance, and they're realizing the dependence that businesses truly have on them. And I think what we're seeing is kind of like a changing of the guard, and it's this power shift between the carriers and the businesses, and the carriers now flexing their muscle a little bit and instituting these changes. And at the end of the day, it's like they make these changes, and what can businesses do? We're in an industry where there's such a high barrier of entry that you can't just come in as a mom and pop business and say, well, I'm going to deliver a package overnight from California to Florida, and it's going to get there by next day at 10:30. There's not a lot of businesses that can come in and do that, almost none. DHL was one of them, and they failed, ended up leaving the domestic market here in the US, and now Amazon is a formidable opponent, to FedEx and UPS. But I'd say that's one of the biggest things that we're seeing right now, is the realization of the strength that they have, the dominance that they have, and the dependency of businesses on the carriers like FedEx and UPS.
Yeah, going back to when Josh and I started the company, there were 4 carriers as national carriers, as options for companies to choose from. So you had United States Postal Service, DHL, FedEx, and UPS. Today, DHL is off that list. They're making a little bit of a comeback from some service offerings, but they don't have the full suite of service offerings that companies need to rely on to get their packages around the globe in a timely manner. And so with less options, typically creates higher prices. And so that puts pressure on companies to compete, especially when there's a consumer demand due to Amazon of fast, free shipping. So companies are really struggling to keep up with that new consumer behavior around shipping. And then, I think Amazon, I think, will ultimately become another player against FedEx and UPS. They had a service called Ship with Amazon that they were beta testing prior to COVID, but due to COVID, they had to focus on their core competency. I think once we get through COVID, I think we'll start to see Amazon entering the space, which will be a great thing for companies that ship. They'll have more options, it'll be more competitive. As a result, prices will come down, and that will help with margins for companies that will, out there that ship.
The biggest thing is on the horizon, for Reveal is really the technology that we're developing. So we're in the midst right now of releasing a new technology platform, and we're really, really excited about it. And really, what it's geared towards doing is providing businesses with insights, and more importantly, actionable insights. What can they do to improve their shipping? Now, one of the things that is really unique to the platform is we're going to allow our customers to have a comparison against businesses that are similar to them. And when I say similar, I mean have a similar shipping profile, not necessarily just a competitor or a similar business. So it's businesses that ship similarly to them. And what this platform will allow them to do is say, okay, in this certain area, whether it's average cost per shipment, how do I stack up against my peers? Am I healthy or am I unhealthy? And if I'm unhealthy, then our platform will tell them, hey, this is how you can become healthy. So that's really probably the biggest thing that we have going on right now is the release of that product. And we're just super, super excited to be able to go in that direction.
Yeah, we've spent the last 2 years doing customer research to find out really what companies need and want versus companies like us just thinking what they want. And so in doing that, we've been able to put together a very comprehensive feature set into our new software product that will really give companies the tools to make smarter business decisions and also give them peace of mind around their shipping, which will ultimately help increase profitability for those businesses. So we're very excited that launch is coming up this summer, so stay tuned.
Yeah, what I would tell someone that's contemplating using Reveal is if you're looking for full transparency into your parcel shipping, if you're looking to improve from an operational efficiency, if you're looking to improve from a transparency perspective, the platform is for you. It's going to be able to make your business better. It's going to be able to make you, have smarter decisions. And then our agreement management is going to allow you peace of mind, knowing that you're never going to lose discounts. Knowing that, when FedEx and UPS or UPS walk in the door with a new proposal, you have a means to determine how much savings there is prior to even signing it. So peace of mind and smarter decisions are absolutely what you're going to get with the new Reveal platform.